Luther King Jr. once said, I look to a day when people will not be judged by the color of their skin, by the content of their character. And you may ask yourself, what does this have to relate to cheerleading? Well, in cheerleading, I guess there's a lot of stereotypes as to what you have to look and like how you have to be. So it really does relate to the quote because it doesn't matter like the color of your skin or anything, but what you actually bring to the team. So this here is my cheer bow. I know it just looks like simple and you're probably like, oh, they just use it to like go on their head or whatnot, but it's not. This actually represents the diversity that is on the team and the 6 years that I have dedicated to cheer. And I still am currently doing cheer. So learning about cheerleading will help you understand the unity, dedication, and trust you have to be part of the sport. So now I will take a couple minutes of your time to show you how the cheer bow is essential and how it really has shaped my life. So I guess it actually serves more as like a visual representation because I know that it just looks like an accessory, but it's not, because they do come in all kinds of different shapes and sizes, just like the different people that are on the teams. So it really does show how diverse you have to be. Well, you don't have to be, but I mean, it's something that it kind of like just creates when you all like blend together. So now I will explain to you the different types of cheer bows, because there is a practice bow and there is a competition bow. So for the practice bow, it's kind of a way for you to express your personality, because most of the time you do have team colors and it's kind of what you have to wear. But for the cheer bow, you can actually choose whatever you want. And then as to the comp bow, for competitions and like when we go to exhibitions and stuff, there is a mandatory cheer bow. So everybody has to use like the same bow. And it kind of shows how even though we're different, we all come together. So like I mentioned before, we do have mandatory practice clothes, maybe not exactly like a uniform and stuff to practice in, but we do have like mandatory colors. So your bow is actually the only way that you can like stand out at practice. And it can represent different moods. Like let's say you're feeling kind of sad, then you're not gonna go in there with like a red sparkly bow. You're probably gonna choose something like more black. And then versus when you're happy, you could actually choose something like a little bit more glittery. It can also represent like the different bonds because you can have matching bows. So now I will take your time to show you how it impacted my life personally. So like I said, I have been in cheer for 6 years, and that means practice 4 times a week, 4 hours a day with no breaks in between. I literally, like even in summer and winter for high school, maybe a lot of you guys had breaks, but no, I was there like at practice. So you really do learn to love your team because I mean, you're always with these people. And it's like you have to kind of adapt to them. So then it's like not just like a team thing, but you really do become a family. It's also like cheerleading is also a place where you go to escape your problems. Because I mean, if you're like taught that you can't bring your negativity in because it will affect the other people around you. Oh, and it does take a lot of trust because most of the time you're flipping or you're like thrown in the air and stuff, and then the only difference between you and hitting the mat is gonna be your team. So if you don't trust them, you can get really, really hurt. So the bow can actually represent like the different stereotypes, because I mean, when I first joined cheer, I was like, oh, I can't do this because I mean, you hear a lot of things like, oh, you have to be a certain way, you have to look a certain way, but it's not like that. So the way that this can actually like represent that is that they're all different, just like the different people. So now let's recap on a couple of things that I mentioned. I hope you learned about the cheerleading bow and how it actually represents the culture. Like I said, it represents mood, diversity, dedication, and it's like a symbol to us. So I hope next time you see a cheerleading wearing a cheer bow, you can guess what mood she's in.